Darlington Raceway, NASCAR's first super speedway, nicknamed the Lady in Black, the track too tough to tame. They've been racing here for over a half-century, and in our cutting-edge, techno-crazed world, Darlington's secure in its identity as an ancient and legendary sports venue. This South Carolina egg-shaped track, Curtis Turner won the first pole at Darlington. The King, Richard Petty, won here 3 times. Cale Yarborough won 5 times, but not here, making his own exit lane. Today's drivers appreciate all the legends. They understand that over the next few hours, they'll be battling each other and also going one-on-one with the walls of this famous place. If their car hits the wall, they earn the Darlington stripe, but if their car captures the checkered flag, they carve out a place in history.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, with the most exciting words in the world of motorsports, His Excellency, the Governor of the great state of South Carolina, the Honorable Mark Sanford.
Gentlemen, start your engine.
Dodge pace car set to roll off. And here's the starting lineup. Sadler for Robert Yates there with Ryan Newman, who has 11 front row starts and 49 Winston Cup tries. Jerry Nadeau and Jimmy Spencer. Big things expected from row 2 today. Jeff Gordon, one of Darlington's past masters, and Kurt Busch. They're in row 3. Ward Burton and last year's winner of this race, Sterling Marlin. In row 4, completing the top 10, Michael Waltrip and Todd Bodine.
Let's see if we can get old Sterling to talk to us. Hey, Sterling Marlin, this is DW up in the TV tower. Bud, how you read?
Loud and clear there, DW.
How's the old Silver Bullet looking today?
I believe she's pretty good. We, same car we won with last year, and it really ran good in last practice. Really stayed good under a long run, so I think we're in good shape.
Well, it ought to be a lot easier this year. You don't have to come from the back. You're already up to the front, so I'm going to keep an eye on you, bud. I got my money on you today. Stand on that bad boy.
We'll do it.
10-4.
43 cars here. Nobody went home. As you have a look back through the rest of the field. And a lot of talent starting deep. Look at Winston Cup champ Stewart and Mark Martin back in row 14.
A lot of Winston Cup wins at Darlington back there. You look at Dale Jarrett and guys like that. Jeff Burton as well, starting way deep in the field.
But this joint's not about going fast for 1 lap. It's about going fast for 400 miles and staying off of that old wall. You don't want to be saying hello, wall. Larry, Mike, I wonder if there's any other wall in racing that's been hit as much as this one has.
I doubt it.
You want to hit it just the right amount at the right place. Right. Here we're going to look at the weather. Air temperature is 63 degrees. Now here's kind of a key based on practice yesterday. That track temperature is 75 degrees. In their practice yesterday, 25 degrees cooler. 50 degrees, track's going to be a lot greasier. Cars are going to slide around much more today. But the good thing is, it's not raining.
At least it's dry.
Here's our race analysis. 43 cars. No one had to go home. Only 43 cars here. 293 laps, 400 miles. Tires. There's our key graphic right there. You heard Matt Yoakum talking about that. The strategy is every time the yellow flag comes out, you come to pit road for 4 tires. There's no 2 tire changes here. This place is like a piece of 80 grit sandpaper. Just eats the tires up.
Field in turn 3. Like Atlanta last week, this track was reconfigured. That press box sat in what used to be turn 1. But Highway 151 right behind the track, limited expansion. So they rebuilt the backstretch into the front stretch. And so now the small end of the track is now turns 3 and 4. The big turn is turns 1 and 2. St. Patrick's Day tomorrow. Instead of wearing to the green here, Darrell, we're going to be waving to the green.
Okay, old Waltrip, just reach your hands. I tell you, pull those belts tight.
All right. Oh, boogity, oh, boogity, oh, boogity. Let's go racing, oh, boys.
There you heard Mike Joy talking about it, the high line. Ryan Newman in the 12 car. He gets a jump on Elliott Sadler through 1 and 2 and pulls him down the backstretch.
Yeah, Ryan just had to, had the right. He was up there on the outside. That's where you want to be going into turn 1, and it paid off. But here comes Elliott charging back on the inside. Got that Yates horsepower wound up, and he's going for the lead. Right there, folks, is where you've got to let up. The guy on the outside has got to let the guy on the inside go, or you'll wreck. You can't go through there too wide. About the best thing you hope for when you go into turn 1 is that guy will push you up and you can put the crossover move on him.
Sure, we'll see that a lot today.
Oh, yeah.
Matt Kenseth did not get off to a particularly good start, but it doesn't appear there's anything wrong with his car. Just being a little cautious and letting tires come up to temperature and pressure.
That's the whole thing here. It's always being cautious. Don't put yourself in a position where somebody can wreck you.
And you can go out there and you can run your car hard in the first 8 or 10 laps, but you're going to pay the price 30 or 40 laps in the run. You're going to use the good up in those tires way too early.
Jerry Nadeau coming hard in that black Army Pontiac at the bottom of your screen. Took second from Newman, and now he set sail on the leader.
You don't see many people drive by Ryan Newman, I can tell you. Nadeau's pumped, and that Pontiac looks good this weekend. This is the best we've seen a Pontiac run so far this year.
Only one top 10 finish for a Pontiac in the first 4 races.
Jeff Gordon drops under Jimmy Spencer, who may have brushed the wall at turn 1.
And you see Sterling was right there, and because Jimmy got in trouble, Sterling had to lift, and it almost got Sterling in trouble. Coming off the 2 over there is a treacherous place.
Rusty Wallace underneath Ward Burton. This is for 8th place.
He's been getting about a car a lap. He is definitely on the move.
Things happen quick right now with all these cars bunched up. Got to be real cautious, but you want to pounce on a guy when you get an opportunity.
You were riding with Dale Earnhardt Jr. there in the 8 car. He started 16th. He's all the way up to 10th, so he's on the move as well.
Jimmy Johnson just moved past Todd Bodine to take over 11 in the number 48.
And I know none of us picked Jimmy Johnson in our picks, but I'm going to tell you, he was maybe one of the best cars in that final practice yesterday, the 48 car.
Yeah, I think the 48 and the 20.
Here comes Jeff Gordon underneath the 12 of Ryan Newman, and trouble, Jerry Nadeau. The 2nd place car spins.
And he'll probably, he gets it turned back around, because if he hadn't, he'd have went to the bottom of the racetrack. The caution is out.
Did he make contact?
I don't think so, Darrell.
Matt Kenseth spins coming off turn 2. I think he might have got tagged from behind trying to slow up.
That can happen so easily off that corner over there. You come through 1 and 2 wide open, and somebody lets up in front of you, you can't help but get in the back of them. I don't think Nadeau hit anything.
He went in all by himself, Darrell, and I'm not sure if the car got upset on entry or if something happened in the middle of the corner.
I don't see any damage on the car whatsoever. I think he was very, very, very lucky.
I thought Nadeau was French, not Irish. But this weekend, everybody's Irish. And you take all the Shamrocks you can get.
Well, he just made a big withdrawal from the luck bank. I can tell you that.
When you're running second, you spin in front of the whole field coming at you in the middle of the corner.
And a car that somebody doesn't run into you and you don't hit the wall, I guess I would call that
3 trips.
I guess I would call that good luck.
You said it.
And we've only run about 6 laps. I'm going to anticipate most of the leaders will stay out, but probably Jerry Nadeau, Matt Kenseth will be the pit road for 4 fresh tires.
Yeah, the back part of the field will come down pit road. Here he goes. He just gets in there.
That's where Jamie McMurray clipped Matt Kenseth in the 17, Jamie McMurray in the 42. That was right over in the middle of turn 2 after Jerry Nadeau had spun.
You know, I think Larry, and I'm not sure, we'll see it from further back. Jerry's already around, but you can see he was all by himself and did not make contact with the wall or another car. Let's see if Kenseth comes into play here.
They all have to go to the apron because they can't see for the smoke. That's what happens. Everybody goes down on the apron. They can't see for the smoke. You get down there, it's real dirty and sandy. That apron is really, really slick.
There's where Kenseth and McMurray got together right there.
Yep.
19 cars stayed out, but I want to tell you one surprise. Dale Earnhardt Jr., he gets him 4 fresh tires on his first caution.
Green flag pit stops have begun. Mike Skinner is done. Dale Jarrett's in. Jeff Green, Rusty Wallace, and Joe Nemechek. are on pit road. Mark Martin leads by 3.8 seconds. Trouble, John Andretti. Hard crash on the front straightaway.
Caution is out.
Boy, this is going to hurt a bunch of guys. Well,
Yes,
let's
it
see.
will.
No, I don't know, Larry. Pit road is pretty clean.
Yeah, but you had a lot of cars on pit road that had just went a lap down, and they'll have fresh tires. Mark Martin's over in the middle of 3 and 4 right now. Looks like Ricky Rudd's trying to come to get that lap back.
Coming inside.
And will. So will Larry. Looks like Larry Foyt.
More.
And Martin eases to the caution flag.
I think, did Jarrett lose a lap?
Yeah, Dale Jarrett, who had pitted along with Rusty Wallace, Jeff Green, Jimmy Spencer, John Andretti, who caused the caution, all those guys had been on the pit road.
John Andretti had pitted 6 laps ago, and before that car even slid to the wall, the left rear sheet metal was all torn off it. Let's have a look here, top of your screen. Oh.
Looked like Jimmy Spencer in the 7 car got into his left rear. And Jimmy was one of the cars on fresh tires, too. He had just been to pit road about 4 or 5 laps ago. Now, what that'll do for those guys like Dale Jarrett and Rusty Wallace, they will stay out. They will be at the tail end of the lead lap. They will be in front of Mark Martin and all these guys leading with hopes of caution coming out right after the restart.
This happens. I can't tell you how many times this same scenario has happened at this place. Because you got to come early sometime to get tires because your car's so bad, and you have a problem on the racetrack and you end up in trouble.
Because right now we're only showing 11 cars on the lead lap. There should be about 6 or 7 at the tail end of the lead lap. So it'd be Dale Jarrett, Rusty Wallace, Jeff Green, and Jimmy Spencer.
John Andretti is okay. He's taking the helmet off. He's going to take a little time getting out of the car as pit road is open. Jeannie?
Well, Robert Booty Barker luring his driver in with 4 fresh tires. And you know that's important around here. He's making his way down pit road, but also saying, hey, please, if you can get to the windshield, can you tear that off? Because that's getting pretty nasty, as you can imagine, from all the debris on the track. Just tire pressure adjustments, the 4 tires, and fuel. Dick?
Kenseth was preparing to come in at any rate within a lap or 2, but this is a break for him. They're going to make a couple of minor adjustments in the car. To Steve.
Mark Martin's going to get a chassis adjustment. Catch cam man Scott Kurtz taking 1.5 turns of bite out of the right rear to Matt.
Letard and Craven both making a wedge and track bar adjustment. 4 tire change for Gordon. He's going to beat the 6 off pit road. It's going to be a race with a 38. It's going to be close, Mike Joy.
Very close getting off pit road. I think Gordon
got it, yeah.
Beat Kurt Busch, who's right back in the thick of things here. And John Andretti climbed from his car uninjured. He is okay after colliding with Jimmy Spencer and then the inside wall. Let's show you the race off pit road, and it was, as Matt pointed out, a close one.
Ricky Craven, those guys had a good stop, came off 4.
How about some attaboys here? So we're under caution for the 6th time today in Darlington. We'll crank it up for you on this restart. Jeff Gordon, your leader, as we close in on 200th laps. Now, he is not at the front of the pack because of cars on the tail end of the lead lap, Dale Jarrett and Mike Skinner. Matt?
Well, Mike, one thing to keep in mind about Jeff Gordon, he's very focused inside that race car.
as to what the surroundings are. Earlier in the race, when the sun dipped behind the clouds, he told crew chief Robbie Loomis, keep in mind it's now overcast, and they're thinking about adjustments. And then he came out and said, you know what, the sun's come back out. Now keep one thing in mind, if you were loose before, you're really going to be loose now with this racetrack getting some more heat into it, and Gordon was much looser earlier. They made those adjustments. It's going to be interesting to see how they help that race car.
Good point, Matt. Now, one driver who was quick down pit road was Ricky Craven. Restarted fourth. That's where he runs. Let's go back to crew cam here on his catch can man on that stop, which moved Craven from ninth to fourth coming out of the pits.
Take the first can from the fuel man, holds it while the fuel man sticks a second can in.
And the top Pontiac scoots out and gains a few spots on pit road, 5 to be exact.
I tell you, this is a good run for Ricky late in this race. Started back in 31st. I talked to his crew chief this morning, Scott Miller. They had every spring in that race car laying on the ground. They had stuff everywhere making multiple changes on that car this morning.
Leader, Martin second, Sadler third, Blaney fourth, and Ricky Craven from Maine in fifth. Dick Bergman's in his fifth.
Craven started in 31st position. His crew chief is Scott Miller. Can you get 4 more spots?
Well, our car's really good on long runs, and if it goes long, we'll see what we can do. But those 4 in front of us are really strong, and we got a couple challenges from behind. So we're just going to stay after and see what we can get here.
Craven's best track probably is Rockingham. This place is very similar to Rockingham, so it's no surprise that Ricky Craven is having a great day today, Mike.
Been a lot of today in the top 5, and for most of the day he's been the fastest Pontiac in the field.
And Larry, I don't know what the Pontiac teams have found. Maybe it's just Darlington and the Pontiac works good here, but you know, with the way Nadeau qualified and ran before he had trouble, now Craven up there, looks like these Pontiac boys are getting their act together.
And of course Mike Skinner has been running up near the front all day as well, so I believe you're absolutely right. Starting to figure that balance out in downforce.
4 Chevrolets, 5 Fords, 1 Dodge, 1 Pontiac on the lead lap here in Darlington. Let's check with Matt in the leader's pit.
Well, the debate to short pit or go the full fuel run is going up and down pit road. Robbie Loomis, a crew chief for Jeff Gordon. So what do? Do you short pit? Oh, caution on the racetrack.
Debris between turns 3 and 4 has put us under the caution for the 7th time today, and all that talk of strategy goes to the wind.
Never mind.
We've got a couple of cars coming, trying to get their lap back. Mike Skinner and Dale Jarrett. Dale Jarrett trying to get 1 of 2. I don't think they're going to accomplish it.
No, too far back.
Too far back. Here comes Jeff Gordon.
The 4 is behind that, way far back.
That's Ron Thiel,
definitely
spotter.
too tight on new tires, so whatever you think.
Talking Jeff Gordon to the caution, 7th one of the day at lap 237.
Where are you too tight out in the most, bud? Come back. Where do you feel the tightness the most? Into turn 1. Entry into the corner there. The 4 getting into turn 1, it just wants to push up to the wall.
And boy, what Robbie Loomis has to do there, has to make sure that he tries to fix that race car, but don't unhook the rear end doing it. Don't make that thing where it starts getting loose off, because this could very well be the last pit stop with the last adjustments.
And that's why you go down on the apron getting into turn 1, because the cars really don't want to turn there. You get too tight there, it just makes it more and more difficult to get back to the gas and carry any speed off the corner.
Gerald, let me ask you a question right here. Remember, he got to beating and banging with the 88 car early on. I'm wondering if that damage to the right front fender is affecting that car as far as rotating down through the corner.
Well, that would be where it would affect it the most, as it goes down into the corner, because you lose some of the downforce. You can see it's caved in right there on the front, so he has lost some effect of that fender. They'll probably snatch that bad boy out on the pit stop.
11 cars on the lead lap, all 11 to pit road for adjustments, 4 tires, possibly the last pit stop with 55 laps to go.
But I'm going to be telling you, as the driver, don't do anything that's going to get me out late. I want to be out leading this race.
Steve?
Martin safely in. Crew Chief Ben Leslie saying, just be smooth, concentrate, half a turn down in the left rear. The only adjustment to the number 6 of Mark Martin. Let's go to Matt Yoakum.
And Jeff Gordon's team already going to work. Now coming along on the left side, they're going to make a track bar adjustment to try to fix the race car. Easy off. Good stop by the 24 guys.
A lot of congestion about the center of that pit road.
I think they came off pit road just about the way they went in.
And next time by, the car is a lap or more down, will pit.
Well, I'm going to tell you, you know what tells me Mark Martin's happy with his car? Very rare do you hear Mark Martin adjusting in half a pound in half a round. Normally he's 2 pounds or 2 rounds. He's been pretty happy with that car all day. He knows he don't want to over-adjust this thing.
Been pretty good.
Here's the race off pit road at lap 238. Gordon, Martin, Sadler, Busch, Craven, Blaney, and the rest of the cars on the lead lap. There's officials on pit road to look at every Winston Cup pit stop, and you'll see coming in from the right, the inspector is going to come in here to have a look at the left front on Mark Martin's car. And he's pointing to where there's a stud with no lug nut, and Mark Martin had to come in and replace it.
That's a shame.
So he's the last car on the lead lap for the restart.
He went from 2nd to 11th, but with the lap cars on the inside, it's like restarting this race in 22nd position. A lot of cars to fight.
And this is when you come back out and you have a caution right now, something happens to you, and you know what you're going to say.
And this late in the race, nobody's going to give you a break of no kind.
We had no business back there in the first place.
But Martin is still in it to win it. He's one of 11 cars on the lead lap as we get the restart, with 52 laps to go in Darlington. Jimmy Johnson in the wall off turn 2.
Yeah, he just shoved up there, got up on top of it. I'm not sure he's going to have to. I don't think it hurt it that much. It's still going.
This is where you kind of forget about racing the racetrack, getting this late in the race. Boy, Kurt Busch, he got a heck of a run off turn 2. He's right up on the rear bumper, Jeff Gordon. He's going to pull to the inside, heading down the backstretch. He wants the lead of this race.
Missed his pit under the green flag earlier, lost 6 spots. Now he's right back in it. And does a big slide.
I saw him do that once before, and he didn't quite make it. Then I'll fall back in here and try that again.
And while they were doing that, Elliott Sadler in the 38 pulls right up on Kurt Busch's rear bumper.
And they're 3 wide here. Jeff Green gets a bit of bumper from Bill Elliott. And there's Matt Kenseth back with them. Up front. Busch going to try it again.
Yeah, he gets a whale of a run off of that second turn.
But boy, Jeff Gordon drives it down in there to 3 and 4.
Come on in there, Elliott. You make it 3. Let's get a 3-way battle going here.
This looks like that high line is just the way to go through 3 and 4. You keep that momentum, there's a lot better grip up there.
Boy, Kurt Busch got to be careful going here. Good job. Elliott Sadler's the one that's got it. Jeff can't get off of turn 2 over there. He's pushing, and the car's a little too tight. Yikes!
Elliott Sadler, he ran out of racetrack over there. He's going to possibly lose 2nd position, but boy, he bailed her off into turn 3.
Nah, he did. He just got out there and got real close. That's a Darlington strike.
Darrell and Larry, the way I'm seeing this right now, somebody needs to throttle these guys back, Kurt Busch as well as Elliott Sadler, and realize we still got almost 48 laps to go. If you go too hard too soon here, you're going to use your tires up. And a veteran like Jeff Gordon will run off and leave you, or he'll drive that back by you and still wind up winning this race. They got to show some patience.
Yeah, Jeff Gordon will. He's going to be hard to shake out of that lead. I've seen him. He gets out front here at Darlington, and man, he's hard to get around.
Back in the spring of 2000, Jeff Gordon had a tough start to the year, was winless. Fabricator Steve Burke felt like they needed to have a change in luck. So he wrote the initials and car number of his childhood hero, the late Richie Evans, RE61, on the front bumper. In the next 103 races, Gordon won 12 times. Each week, Berge would write the initials and car number. Last week, car chief Steve Letarte was washing the front of the car. He washed it off. He forgot to rewrite it. Gordon went out and finished 2nd, nearly won the race. Guess what tradition came to an end this week? Missing Richie Evans' car number, but certainly his memories are still strong with this race team.
Evans, the 9-time National Modified Division champion from Rome, New York. 40 laps to go. Who wore the new off their tires, and who will be in contention to win as this race comes to conclusion? Is going to make a run for the lead against Jeff Gordon, and watch how this turns out.
Yeah, I mean, when that happened right there, Kurt Busch was 4 or 5 car lengths behind him at the start-finish line.
Elliott was just being he was just being too cautious, and he didn't, you know, it's late in the race, he don't want to mess up. I understand that, but this cat here was back far enough. He got that momentum off of turn 2, and around both of them he went, baby.
And Sadler knew you can't go into that corner 3 wide. Somebody's got to lift. Wow.
Just so much momentum. I mean, the 97 was wide open off that corner where the other 2 were pedaling, trying to keep off each other.
So Kurt Busch is the new leader, and he has driven away. It took Sadler a while to get past Jeff Gordon. Took him 2 laps to finally seal that deal. So Kurt Busch now has a 1.4-second lead.
But boy, Jeff Gordon, when he went. He has dropped all the way back to 8th position, Darrell. I think he just used that right front tire. We heard him say he's been pushing off the corner, and I think the right front tire is gone on that race car.
And guess what? I bet Kurt Busch's power steering is working just fine now.
Feels pretty good.
Yeah, I think the power steering is going to be okay.
Tony Stewart and Dale Jarrett, UPS Ford, closing up now on
Now
Wow.
here comes Ricky Craven in that Pontiac, in the tie car. I mean, here he is. He's all over the back of Elliott Sadler.
Of course, Rusty Wallace and Dale Jarrett, they're racing for position even though they're 2 laps down.
And Dave Blaney, I mean, we got some guys up here that, you know, would you predict that some of these cats would be up front at the end of the day?
You heard Scott Miller, Ricky Craven, Elliott Sadler. He just about got that Darlington stripe right there in 1 and 2, but you heard him say his car, Ricky Craven, the tied car, good on long runs. There's the car good on long runs, though, Dave Blaney in that 77 car.
But you know what? I believe that the 38, the 24, I think those guys used their stuff up racing each other.
Yes.
And now these guys are kind of laid back, and here we come.
And I think where it really showed up was in the beginning on that restart. Looked like Ricky Craven and Dave Blaney took it easy when those tires were fresh and the air pressure were down.
And there goes the 32 by the 38 right there. And Blaney is all over the back of him, and here comes Dale Jr.
And here come 3 of those cars.
And here comes Mark. Mark's going to get a big run.
3 of those cars that were not running hard right at the restart, racing everybody. Craven, Blaney, Jr.
And Kurt Busch, Jimmy Finney, his crew chief, they're loving this because they have put almost 3/4 of the straightaway on those guys back there beating and banging like this with about 15 laps to go.
It's simple, Larry. You got to start last. Last year, Sterling Marlin had trouble, started this race last. Kurt Busch lost an engine in practice, started 42nd, and now he leads by 3 seconds.
Well, I don't know. I think Jeff Gordon is just, I don't know what's wrong that happened to his car, but he's dog meat now. There's a cat that's led this race forever, sit out there, didn't look like anybody could touch him, and he is going backward at a high rate of speed.
Matt can update us.
DW, the crew is speculating he's knocked the toe out. Remember, earlier in the race, Gordon made hard contact with the 88 coming down the front stretch. That was the second hit. The team is speculating Gordon's knocked the toe out. All he said was, I messed up, I got in the wall.
And when you knock that toe out, that definitely can make one of these things push and drive where the front end don't turn.
And just being towed out, Larry, will that kill your tire wear?
Yes, sir, it will. I mean, these things are designed. We keep talking about this toe out. It's about 1/8 of an inch. That means the front of the front tires are 1/8 inch wider than the rear. That gives you stability getting in the corner.
Plus, we saw that fender damage, Larry. I think that's the big issue. He lost the downforce on the nose. It burnt that right front tire up.
13 laps to go.
I mean, Jeff Gordon, he's almost getting close to a half a lap down, and that's all happening in about 9 laps.
Mark Martin keeps coming. He's passed Dale Earnhardt Jr. now for 4th place.
I tell you, Mark Martin keeps coming, but the cats that are coming are the 32 and that 77. They're not too far behind Kurt Busch. He's closing.
Kurt Busch, he has a fairly clean racetrack in front of him. We'll see Larry Ford up there in the 14 car by himself several laps down, so that's a fairly clean racetrack.
Fastest car on the speedway is Ricky Craven, followed closely by Dave Blaney.
Craven is coming. I'm telling you, I don't think he's going to have time, but if something happened to Busch, you get up here and get in traffic and get woed up a little bit, we got another race on our. We got a race to the finish.
Craven is a quarter of a second faster than Kurt Busch. With 12 laps to go, Darrell, that's enough time. If he keeps that up, it's just barely enough time to catch him.
Put that old washing machine on high speed and let her go.
That time he was 2/10 of a second quicker, so he's definitely catching it.
And how about Dave Blaney hunting his first top 5 Winston Cup finish?
If I was Dave Blaney, Booty, and those guys, I'd feel like I won this race because this is a great run for that team. That cat's going to win a race, Larry. That 77 car with Booty over there, they're going to win a race before too long.
He's been flirting with it, but you know, he seems like he runs good in places where you slide around. What did he do most of his career?
Slid around most of his career. Guess where we're going next week. You got to have a little of that high bank, slide around attitude. Oh, Gordon's in the wall. Gordon's in the wall, and Kenny Wallace got into the back of him.
No caution.
We're going to stay green. 10 laps to go. The right front gone on Gordon's car. 10 to go. And Darrell, looking at this lead pack, how about Ricky Craven and Dave Blaney in second and third? First, let's see Jeff Gordon.
Yeah, he gets into turn 3 here. Car goes up the hill, up the hill. Looks like she just doesn't want to turn it. Bam, right in the wall it goes, and that's just no grip. Lack of grip.
Almost collected Kenny Wallace.
Kenny Wallace bammed into the back of him, but he kept on going.
But look at second and third places. Gordon comes around, and he'll go to pit road with 9 laps to go. You have single-car teams running in second and third. You have the Roush juggernaut leading this race with Busch first and Mark Martin in fourth, but single-car teams second and third. How about that?
But that 97 car could win every race we go to. He is that good. That car is that good. If they have no engine failures, they have no mechanical failures, that cat can win every race.
And you know what? Jack Roush has to be feeling good about that race car up there within less than 10 laps of leading this race with all the motor problems. There you see Jack Roush there, Jeff Burton, their teammate, losing a motor early in the race. He has to feel good right now, and I bet he can't wait to get back to the shop to tear these engines apart.
Yeah, and he's got Mark up there in fourth place, too, so, I mean, he's had it. You know, got a lot of cars going to have some trouble.
It's been feast or famine for Kurt Busch this year. Second at Daytona, second at Rockingham, out of the race at Vegas and Atlanta, and a win at Darlington, perhaps.
I wouldn't count it as a win, man, because that 32 is coming, I'm telling you.
For the 24 MDW, they're pulling out the fender on the right front, changing all 4 tires. He's good to go.
4 races at Darlington have been determined by a last lap pass. Joe Weatherly, Leroy Yarborough, Darrell Waltrip, and Dale Earnhardt were the fellows who did it.
This 37 is buzzing and stuff banging off the corner today. Y'all are catching him a lot.
Blaney little kicks the back end out.
Going to catch 97 and we'll be right there, buddy.
And what they're telling Dave Blaney is it looks like Ricky Craven will catch Kurt Busch.
Right there is make no mistake. You can't catch him and he can't catch you.
Come on, get out of the way, get out of the way.
And the hopes will be while they're racing side by side, he can get up there with these guys, but they better hurry. 5 laps to go. But Ricky Craven is only a half a second back. They have fairly clean racetrack in front of them.
Craven's faster by far, and I tell you, he's got time. It's going to be really exciting. Really, really exciting. Craven is so good through 3 and 4.
And he is all the way against that wall through 3 and 4.
I think he's just using that to hold him in the racetrack, because here he comes, baby.
4 laps to go this time.
Last time it happened here on the last lap, 1987, Dale Earnhardt beat Bill Elliott. 1979, when Darrell beat Richard Petty on the last lap.
Yeah, it's with the old crossover move on him, and that could happen again today.
Jeff Ford's problems continue. He has to come back to pit road.
Watch Craven. Watch Craven on this end of the racetrack. Really gets off the turn 4 hard. Here he comes. He's there. He'll make the move on him going down into turn 1. He's going to put the move on him.
3 laps to go.
Craven's going to. The thing that Craven is really good. He's good in 3 and 4. Looks like they're pretty even on this end of the racetrack.
Yeah, he don't really pull away from him coming off turn 2, but right here, going down into turn 3, this is where we're watching. 1.5 laps to go.
Watch this. Here he goes. Craven gets that high right out next to that wall. Watch.
Right there.
Close.
Right there in the middle.
Cuts down. He's going to make a down. He's going to get down under him. That's not the way to do it. I don't know. Come on, baby. Come on.
Side by side, 2 laps to go. Somebody's got to give. Getting into turn 1.
Nobody. And in the wall goes Bush.
That was not a very good idea.
Looked across the remove. He got into it.
Come on, clear. Good job, man. Hang in there.
And here comes Blaney. Blaney is now the best car on the track.
Oh, baby, I'm telling you, Kurt Busch is not going to give up the win.
No, he's not. They'll be coming to the white flag this time. Ricky Craven's not going to give up either.
Come on, Ricky.
He gets that run on the high side right there. Kurt Busch is
Come on, baby.
struggling with his race car.
Here he comes. Here we go again. He's going to wait on this. He's going to put the crossover on it. He realized that wasn't a good move that last time.
White flag.
Here he goes. He's going to try to slide under him here. Come on, baby.
And Blaney's coming.
Both these cars are driving terrible right now. Not a lap to go.
Nah, they're driving good. Come on, baby. You can do it on this end of the speedway. Come off the 4 and get up alongside of him.
Half a mile
Here
to
he
go.
comes. Here he comes.
Who's going to get off?
Here he comes. Here he comes. He's got him this time.
It's going to be a tag race.
Whoa!
They touch. They touch.
Craven got him. Craven got him.
Craven got him.
And
Craven. All right. What a finish.
have you ever?
No, I've never.
Wow.
What a finish.
That is one happy group right there.
That's one great race. I'm going to tell you, it's the greatest race I've ever seen at Darlington.
Scott Miller gets his first win as a crew chief.
Pontiac gets a win. Kyle Wells' engine program gets a win.
First year for that engine program.
And for the 5th time in Darlington history, a race is settled with a last lap pass. We didn't have a last lap pass for the win last year. That's the end of that.
That was at the start-finish line pass there. What a race.
I got to see this again.
I do too. Let's watch.
Coming off turn 4 onto the front stretch. That's about as close as it'll get right there.
And this right here, I don't know what kept them from both wadding them up down here in turn 1, but bam, oh boy, Craven really shot out into it.
It is amazing they didn't wreck after they crossed the start-finish line.
Darrell, if instead of Bush coming down into Craven, if he stays straight, does he beat Craven?
I don't think he had any choice, Mike, because Craven came off the bottom and really slammed into him. I think they got hooked together and couldn't get apart.
Look at Craven in there. Look at him fighting that steering wheel.
And it's a good thing that Pontiac's got the kick out on the nose.
Yeah, that was the difference.
He wouldn't have won.
Look at how close this finish is. Right there. Wow.
Oh, baby.
And I'm going to tell you what, they didn't even need seats in these grandstands because nobody was sitting down.
And nobody's leaving. Look at this, right to the line. How close can you get it?
But now, what's really, when they get on down here, I mean, I thought they were both going to wad him up and they'd have to take him to victory circle on the rollback.
Steve Burns with a runner-up.
All right, thanks, Mike. Kurt Busch, that was a hell of a race at the end. Tell us your point of view. Tell us about the last lap, last corner.
I had to get a lead. The power steering went away, and I've never felt a heavier car in the world. We dug and dug and dug, and I tend to go. It finally just gave up altogether. And the car was so tight I couldn't hang on. And, you know, it was an awesome race. I didn't give him room in 1, and he didn't give me room out of 4. It's the way it's supposed to be. I mean, this was some hard-fought racing.
Kurt, when you came across the start-finish line hooked together with a 32, did you know who got there first?
We came out of 4, and the wheel snapped out of my hands because I had no power steering. So it looked like I turned into him, and I grabbed all the wheel I could to turn it back to the right. And I looked at his A-post, and it was right here with my A-post. So, you know, it's tough. We finished second again, and, you know, all the congratulations to the Rubbermaid team on what they do, all the hard work that goes into it. You know, we're just missing one little piece, and if we can get a full commitment and make sure that we run every weekend like we're supposed to, we can win some races.
Oh my gosh, I had no idea, but I've done this for over 20 years, and as a racer, you dream of that, you know, and being a New England boy, and you know, being attached to this sport, NASCAR, my whole life, I knew there was none any tougher than Darlington, so that's the one I wanted to win the worst, and wow, this is sweet. I just gotta thank everybody back home, and it's amazing that you can drive and pray at the same time, but I was doing it.
Were you holding your breath on those last couple of laps? You're puffing.
I wasn't holding my breath, but I was working pretty hard. Maybe it didn't look that hard, but I tell you what, Kurt is such a good racer, and we got together, and I don't know why we didn't wreck with a couple laps to go. And then we said, well, let's try it again. You know? But it was absolutely the most fun I've ever had. Really thankful to have the opportunity to be driving the Tide Pontiac and to have this group of people, and really thankful I got these three, Kay, Riley, and Everett, and life's good.
Let's take a look at the points. Matt Kenseth of Roush Racing hanging on steady. Jeff Hammond as we look. Ricky Craven jumps all the way up to 5th. You see Kurt Busch currently running 6th. NASCAR's top 10, the Winston Cup point standings.
Ricky Craven in a 2-lap battle to the finish beats Kurt Busch by just this little much.
Look at the smoke flying off them. Look at They're rubbing on each other like crazy, man.
And in Kurt Busch's pit, they're not sure. How close was it? 2/1000ths of a second.